You are listening to 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair, and this is Breaking the Ice. I am your host, Connor Cupin. I am back. I know I haven't been uploading on the page's Instagram at all, but whatever. The YouTube channel still gets... We're still doing the show every week, and I've got AJ Chasen in the room with me on mic 3. Let's give him a little round of applause here with the crowd clap. How you been, AJ?
I would say it was good. I've been good. Excited to be back. Let's get it.
Man, we're in a completely dark studio right now. All that's illuminating is Artie's purple light that will live on forever. It's his legacy here in this studio, that little purple light.
As we miss Artie.
Free agency's gone crazy so far. How's your summer been? Because you haven't been in here all month long.
It's been good. I've been working, living, just enjoying summers.
Selling used cars still?
Not much.
Oh, you're working elsewhere?
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, not much. But still doing that a little bit. Just kind of trying to enjoy one of probably my last summer as
the last summer of not having a career.
Pretty much.
That's kind of the
being
goal
able to
here.
have a full summer. These days are gonna be long gone in a month, so. Just try and appreciate them as much as you can, and just sort of looking forward to next semester, but not really at the same time because it's been really fun. But
5.5 weeks is all we got left. So
yep,
we
but as the
gotta
days go
make
on,
the most of it because it's creeping up on us.
Yep, but as the days go on, it gets closer to us being able to have a full panel, being able to do a show every week. And
I can't wait, man.
I'm excited about that. Let's get it.
I can't wait. It was so fun having everybody in here every week, just fill in the time slot without even breaking a sweat.
Yeah, we flew through them.
We
it
would
was
fly
nothing.
through. 1 hour was not enough. If we had 2 hours during the semester last year, oh man, we would have absolutely had enough content.
we would have the top show on WMSA.
Would have, but you know what? They don't. They want to see us. They want to see us fail down here.
They
But I'm
wanna
gonna try
see
to
us
get 2 hours
fail.
this year. I'm gonna try so hard to get 2 hours this year during games and everything. So
Dude, that's gonna be a movie if that happens.
Oh, we're going all out for that 7 p.m. Tuesday slot. Keep your eyes peeled. But we're only back for 1 hour now. I felt like I had to make the switch because this summer, having the 2 hour show during the summer, it's like, how much can we talk about? The
not much
season's
at this
done
point.
right now. It's free agency time. It's great. But
Yeah, free agency, it's almost it's pretty much over at this point. It's kind of just waiting until teams get back in training camp, waiting now it's your arbitration and everything, and it's the end of it.
And as soon as you said arbitration, I'm just going to bring it up first.
Do it.
Ilya Samsonov with the wildest arbitration discrepancy I've seen so far. Let's hit the foghorn. Good old times. I've reworked the soundboard here too, so now I got new stuff I can introduce. But Ilya Samsonov, so let's just take a look at this right now. The Toronto Maple Leafs are filing for $2.4 million to pay him for the year. He is filing for $4.9 million. So Aiden Hill money right now.
I don't blame him. Here's why. Toronto over the last few years have a reputation of backing up the Brinks truck for their players, right? They did it for Mitch Marner, giving him a big contract. They did it for John Tavares, giving him a big contract. And now it's sort of this next regime's turn. It's Austin Matthews wants his payday. William Nylander, he's reportedly asking for 10 a year, which I don't blame him. He's not going to get 10 a year, but I mean, and now Samsonov, he's asking for 4.9. You see these guys on your team, you see them getting the big payday and everything, and you kind of want that as well. Samsonov, he played really well last year. It was unfortunate that he was injured in the playoffs, but it is what it is. That's professional sports. It happens. But you see all these guys, but they're all getting paid and everything, and it's I've contributed all of this value as well, and now I'm sort of not getting compensated for it. I understand it from the player's perspective. Is Ilya Samsonov a $4.9 million AAV with a level goalie? Absolutely not. But me and you would completely agree with that. He's not. He's probably, he probably is closer to the 2.4 than he is the 4.9. But if you're Samsonov, you ask for something ridiculous like 4.9 because when it goes to arbitration,
Then you'll come in the middle.
Yes, you come in the middle. And if Samsonov would have come in is asking, say, a 3.9, right? He'll probably only get maybe 2.9, maybe 3, 3.1 4.9, he'll probably get like 3.5, 3.6, 3.7 out of this. Which, if you're Samsonov, like that's a win. And so like, I don't think it's that crazy. I wouldn't blame the player that much, and I don't blame anyone in professional sports, especially a violent sport like hockey, for trying to get their
Absolutely
payday.
not, man.
I don't blame them.
No, don't blame him at all. If he pulls that off, it's gonna be a great deal. So now, speaking of deals, I feel like I went through all of free agency with Vitaly last week. We had a great show. So now I want some of your opinions on the biggest contracts that have been handed out. I'm just gonna go down the line of the ones that I think stand out, and let's start with a recent one here. We got from last week. We'll cover this week's together. But Keandre Miller's deal. You like that? You don't like it? Thoughts?
I feel like the Rangers had to do it. You knew coming into this offseason they were going to be cap strapped, right? They came in with a little less than or a little more than $11 million in cap space, around there, right? And this offseason, they went into it with a decision to make. It was either they're gonna bring back guys like Patty Kane, they're gonna bring back guys like Vladimir Tarasenko, and sort of they were gonna roll with the core, right? They're gonna roll with the agent core, sort of let these RFAs and Alexis Lafreniere sort of be out there for teams to be had, right? To give them offer sheets. Or you take the young guys who you're there, you drafted, you developed, right? Maybe they're not exactly where you want to be right now, where you want them to be right now, but they're still intricate parts of your future, right? So the Rangers, they had a decision to make this offseason. I like that they're deciding to go with the younger players, right? I like that they're deciding they're still keeping the core of Zibanejad, Kreider, Panarin, Trocheck, all those guys at the top. They're still keeping those guys around, but they're supporting guys like Lafreniere, who I don't think has signed yet, but he will. And just as you mentioned, Keandre Miller, he's already signed. I like what the Rangers have done this offseason, getting guys like Blake Wheeler. I still think is productive. I think he can give you a very similar production to what Patty Kane gave you. Last year, even though it really wasn't that much. But I think Blake Wheeler can come in. He could be a solid second liner for you. I like getting Nick Bonino with a good two-way forward, mainly just a defensive forward at this point. Could provide you a little offense. He's probably a little spark for the Sharks at the beginning of last year. But you're mainly getting him for that PK. You're getting him for those fourth line shutdown minutes. I like that pickup. I like getting guys like Tyler Pitlick, can skate, can move the play. Eric Gustafsson can be a shutdown defenseman. I like what they're doing. That's what I'll say. I like what they're doing. I don't think it's really a powerhouse offseason. I don't think that they've gotten marginally better, but I've questioned the head coaching hire of Peter Laviolette.
Yeah.
But I think that the Rangers are marginally better than what they were last year. And with the way they went into the offseason with the guys and that they had to pay and everything and the little cap that they had, I think that they've done a good job maneuvering the roster construction and getting to a place to where they can compete in the Metro. So for that, I like their offseason so far.
All right. Praise Rangers fans. Take it while you can. Let's give them a nice little, here's a yeah. Yeah! So now, next one here. Like the drum roll sound effect now. You got a take on this one here. The Alex DeBrincat trade. Now you had a big one on this. I believe you said who got robbed on this deal?
Ottawa. Completely Ottawa. What they gave up to get Alex DeBrincat just a calendar year ago at the draft, they gave up a lot. They gave up a lottery pick asset. They gave up a nice prospect. They got DeBrincat, right? They thought he was going to be an intricate part of their core, right? They thought he was going to develop with guys like your Brady Kachucks, your Tim Stutzlas, your Drake Bathersons. You brought over a guy like Claude Giroux. You thought he was going to be in when the Ottawa Senators finally turn a corner. You thought he was going to be a part of that, right? That's why you make the move for him. You thought he was going to be able to complement guys even on your deep pair like Shabbat. You brought in Chikrin. You thought he was going to be one of the players that you look at he is going to be one of the game changers that make the Ottawa Senators go, right? It didn't end up happening. The money, they couldn't make the money work there because that he wanted out. He wasn't happy. It happens, right? The return that they got, I didn't like it at all. They got a couple mid-level prospects. They got a conditional first-round pick. Like, I feel that they sort of had their hands tied behind their back because it was one of the worst-kept secrets that DeBrincat wanted out at the end of the season, right? So they had their hands tied behind their back, and they didn't get enough or what they should have in a trade. I would have rather them just held tight to their stones, have DeBrincat played hardball to DeBrincat. He would have signed his would have signed his $9 million option, right? And you just find a way in a trade, maybe at the deadline, when a team is a skater away, right? With that, you trade them for them, maybe you can get a little bit more, right? And worst case scenario, if you couldn't, do you think that at the trade deadline, the Senators, they could have got a similar package than what they did now? Yes or no?
At the deadline, a similar package?
I believe so.
Yeah, because at that point, teams have less time to think about it.
Yes.
They're getting closer to deadline, so they'll get, yeah.
I believe you. So why I didn't like this trade for Ottawa, it was almost like a why now, right? Why make this move now?
You could have done it later on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On Detroit's side, however,
Phenomenal.
I like the
Marginally better, I see.
I like the contract, right? I like the 4-year deal. I like it at around like the high $7 million range. Right? I think it was like 7.8 or something. I like the fact that it was team friendly, right? The reports came out that like he wanted to go back home. Like Detroit was his number one thing on his list, right? I get it. I don't think DeBrincat necessarily is what Detroit needed, right? I don't think that they had really top six issues, right? I think they have depth issues. I think they had like second, third pair issues, right? I think they had like penalty kill issues. I didn't think goal scoring was an issue, right? No doubt about it. I think DeBrincat and Dylan Larkin are going to work together, right? I just don't think that this team got much better. And I think they got maybe 5 points better, 6 points better, right? But I don't think this is the type of move that is good with the type of move that, is going to solidify the Yzer plan. It's going to send Detroit back into the playoffs, right? And you're going to look at this move in the offseason as like, hey, like this is the move that finally Steve Yzerman made that signaled, hey, we're turning the corners. We're going to be the old Detroit Red Wings, right? I don't think that this is the move. And for that, I don't love it for Detroit, but I think that they got great value in the package and in the contract. So for that, sure, you make this trade 10 times out of 10. But I don't think that I don't think it's a needle mover.
Ottawa's too far to have a needle mover right now. I feel like. I mean, what else? They also got Jonas Korpisalo. That's another big one there. They signed Korpisalo, 5-year, $20 million contract.
You mean Detroit? I was talking about Detroit. I don't think it's a
needle.
Right,
I switched.
Yeah, I don't think it's a needle mover for Detroit.
They're also a little too far. They have a good defense.
You know what I think?
Dylan Larkin,
you know what I think is ironic about this trade?
What?
I kind of view Detroit in a similar way I viewed Ottawa last year.
Interesting.
Right?
Okay.
Like I kind of view these rosters as sort of in the same. Like I kind of view Detroit like coming into this year as sort of in the same timeline as I viewed Ottawa as last year. Right? There are these teams on the outside looking in. They're looking to come out of the rebuild. They're looking to come back into contention. Right?
They're on the way.
And these two teams are on the way. In Ottawa, DeBrincat, he wasn't the needle mover for them, obviously. Ottawa didn't make the playoffs, right?
Not even close.
It's not like Ottawa had a problem in goal scoring even without DeBrincat, right? Like you had Brady Tkachuk, you had Stützle, who had a monster season. You had Giroux, who was productive. And even the Detroit, I think you have enough goal scoring. I think you have Lucas Raymond. I like Dylan Larkin, the stud. JT Compher, I think he's going to come over. A lot of people are, giving Detroit a little bit of heat for the JT Comfort, especially for 5x5. I think he's got to come in and be a nice.
$5 million for JT Comfort. I mean, yeah.
I think it's a lot, but I think he's going to come in. He's going to be a nice two-way center. I like David Perron. I think he's going to put up some goals. Like, I think Andrew Kopp could bounce back. Like, I don't think offense is really the issue, at least right now.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that they had to make the. I don't think that Ottawa had to make this move right now, which is why I don't like that which I don't like the return that they got. And Detroit, I don't think that this is the move that they necessarily had to make. It's confusing, but I hope you're following me.
No, I hear you. But as I brought up earlier, like Ottawa, so Detroit gets a little stronger there.
They get a little stronger. Yeah, they're probably got like 5-7 points better.
Ottawa now, they lose a lot, but they still they sign a goaltender for a 5-year deal. Korpisalo, $20 million contract, big commitment for them, but like
giving goalies term is scary. It's always scary. It's not.
He had a strong stint with the Kings last season. You know what I'm saying?
He did. But goaltending is such a year-to-year thing. Like,
yeah, it's true.
I would say it's such a year-to-year position. It's so unpredictable. It's giving goalies term is something like you usually want to stay away from.
Bag out of all goalies this offseason, not even Ilya Sorokin though.
Yeah, he got a bag.
8 years, $66 million contract.
I mean,
now you tell me.
I mean, without Ilya Sorokin, the Islanders they're on Philadelphia level.
Yeah.
I would say without Ilya Sorokin, they're anywhere from Philadelphia to Columbus level right now. like the Islanders are bad without Sorokin. Like they're terrible.
And he got a bag there.
I mean, you had to pay him.
This is a guy. I think he like the franchise goalie. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Over the past 2 seasons, and he beat out Varlamov for that starter role, and he's just been insane. He was already going to be under contract next year, so now he's going to be there until I am 30.
It's a big commitment.
No, I'm 29.
It's a big commitment.
That might be I don't know if that's the biggest contract handed out in the offseason, but you know, I know it's a big commitment, but are you a fan of the big commitments of Korpisalo and Sorokin?
He's one of the rare goalies to where I'm okay with it, and I'm looking at their team situation, right? Like I hinted to it just like a minute ago. The Islanders are terrible without Ilya Sorokin.
Yes.
Terrible, right? The way they play hockey, they need an elite goaltender. They do.
And they just so happy to not only have one, but they signed their backup. They signed Varlamov to another 4-year deal as well to pay second fiddle. So they have a great tandem there.
They have to. Because outside of Horvat, who I think...
Oh, boy.
If you were to predict a little bit of regression from what that... Because he's coming off a career year, right? If you were to predict him to come back a little bit to the means, right? Is that big of a take? No. Barzal, you don't know what you're going to get from him year to year, right? Can he even stay on the ice, right? And even if he stays on the ice, he can drive the play, but is he a threat to really put the puck in the net consistently? No. Brock Nelson, right? Like, he's nice. He's nice. Is he a needle mover? No. Oliver Wahlstrom, okay. Anders Lee and Kyle Palmieri, like. We're getting the guys like Matt Martin, Casey Kazikas, Cal Clutterbuck, like Pierre Engvall. They gave 7 years too. It's crazy. Like, this team is aging fast. They're aging fast. They don't really play a nice speed game. Like,
and they made the playoffs still.
Mm-hmm. They did
what
make.
What was your Islanders take last week that I wrote down?
I was about to get to that. I think the Islanders finished second. I think the Islanders finished 7th in the Metro.
7th in the Metro.
I think they.
Who's last? Columbus.
Philly.
Oh, so Philly goes down. Columbus figures something out to go 6th.
Philly, yeah. I think I think when I look at the Metro, right? I just want to run them down for you, okay. Right? Devils, can they play a speed game?
Yeah, bro.
Absolutely. Hurricanes, can they play a speed game?
And also, where'd they get all this money from? But yes, they can play a speed game.
Yeah. I would say, can the Rangers? They can. They could play a speed game.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I would say the Penguins, they can. It's not what they do, but they can. They can play fast. And then you look at teams like Columbus, like they're young, but they're fast. Like, They can they can put the puck in the net. Like they can make the Islanders life a living. They can make them a living heck. Like
Yeah, living heck. A living heck, guys.
yeah, they can cause some issues for them. And this team, who I'm about to mention, is getting disrespected. Washington. They're just getting rode off. Like, I think that Andrew Brunette coming over, like, I think not Bruno, who they hired, right? I think that he is one of the younger, smarter coaches in the league. Within the younger up and comers, smarter, young coaches in the league, right? He's gonna come in, he's gonna implement a new system, it's gonna work, right? And then I look at their top six, like Ovechkin's still a threat to put 35, 40 in the net. Kuznetsov's getting slept on. I still think he can play with a solid 2-way minutes at that 1C role. Tom Wilson, he could put up 25, 30. TJ Oshie, people forget about him. Backstrom, Max Pacioretty's still there. Like, Washington still has talent.
Sure, no doubt. Yeah.
They still have talent. I think on paper, like, I think Washington's better
Then
the Islanders. I think they're better.
I agree too. Yeah.
I think they're better. And I think they're going to be better. I think
the Islanders
I think they'll be more well coached.
It's just the man in net that gives them that extra edge.
And I think Columbus. What's on my hot take is like they're going to be better than the Islanders.
Ooh, well, I mean,
I think they're going to be better.
Yeah. Okay. They just drafted. Who'd they draft this year?
Columbus, Fantilli.
That's
Fantilli.
The Metro got a crazy draft. We already touched on that, right?
Yeah, they did.
They got a crazy haul. Matvei Michkov to the Flyers, right?
Yes.
And Gabe Peralt fell all the way to the Rangers.
Yeah, I don't know how that happened. That was crazy.
Like,
ugh.
The Metro got strong.
Yeah.
And then the best part was the Coyotes' first two picks, man. Y'all's reactions on the live draft, great.
Yeah. I look at the Blue Jackets roster, right? Like you got your 2 point per game wingers in Gaudreau and Laine, right? You got Boone Jenner, who I like. Then you got your young energizer Adam Fantilli, who I think he could be a 60-point center right away. I don't think that's crazy. And then you have your bottom 6 of Benstrom, Sillinger, Roslovich, Matthew Olive, Sean Corrali, and Eric Robinson. They're all fast. They're all fast. They can play defense. Then speaking of defense, you got Zach Werenski, who he's still good. You got Damon Severson, who I like, and then you bolstered it up with your left side as well, getting Ivan Provorov. You got I think Columbus is going to shock people. I think I'm high on them. I think they're going to shock people.
Okay.
I mean, shock people in terms of being at that 6th in the Metro, but
shock people like barely.
But
this much shock.
I think they're
a little
shock,
jolt.
like
a solid little. Oh, okay.
But
So
I think they're a team that can cause problems.
Interesting.
I think they're a team that when you see them on your schedule, you're not going to be like, hey, like it's the Blue Jackets.
It's just Columbus.
Hey, it's the Blue Jackets. We got that. We got this one tonight. Like, they're a team you're going to have to play hard against. You're going to have to play hard against the Blue Jackets. If not, they could put 5 on you.
So, moving on now to some of the bigger signings in the league. We're moving over to Nashville. Nashville did a lot of retooling. You know what I'm saying? Like, Ryan O'Reilly. 4-year, $18 million deal to play center. A former Conn Smythe winner with the Blues and the Maple Leafs last season. 30 points in 53 games. 9 consecutive seasons of 50-plus points before this past season. And now Barry Trotz is trying to reshape this Predators situation as he's now in the front office. And this guy, Ryan O'Reilly, can totally help, be a nice little leader. Thoughts on this move here?
I hate everything. I hate everything about it. Like Barry Trotz was in the beginning of this all season showing me why
why he's a coach, not a GM.
Yeah, why a coach is not a GM. I hate everything about what he's doing with the Nashville Predators. Maybe with that, I would say this could be clipped, and then maybe 2 years from now, the Nashville Predators are great.
AJ goes viral.
They're lifting up a cup, and I look like a complete moron, right? Like that could absolutely happen. But let's go through their off season, right?
Yeah, let's do it.
They buy out guys like Matt Duchene and Ryan Johansson with Ryan Johansson, who they just let go, right? They just gave him to the Avalanche, right? They pretty much like, hey, give him on a silver platter. have them, have fun, right? Have your 2C problem that you've been trying to figure out since with Nassim Kadri, right? And like we look at that and we see like, oh, Nashville's going full rebuild, right? They're going younger, they're going full rebuild. Okay, they have a plan. They have a direction, right? Then they sign a mid-30 center in Ryan O'Reilly and give him 4 years. What are they doing? I don't get it.
Vitale brought up the same point last week,
What direction are they going? I hate it. I hate everything about it.
Matt brought up the same thing. He was like, I thought they were trying to get younger, but now it looks like they're not trying to get younger.
It makes no sense. And now they're going to have all this dead money from Duchesne and Johansson.
This is literally, yes.
What is wrong with, like, I don't understand.
Can we get a new Vancouver? Is it new Vancouver, bro?
No, it's not. It's still so early in the...
Yeah, I know.
I would
Started
say
yet.
it's so early in the Trotz regime. Like, it's not on the Vancouver level, but if it keeps going like this, it could get there.
Is it bottom 5 already for you?
I was about to bring up a take. I think Nashville was going to finish the bottom 6 team in the league.
You heard it here first, guys. The Predators not killing anybody.
I think they're going to be trash.
Trash cans. The trash cans of the Central Division.
Let's look at their lineup, right?
O'Reilly.
Let's look at their top line. Philip Forsberg, Ryan O'Reilly, and Gustav Nyquist.
But you know what will
That's
keep
okay.
them?
That's a good first line.
Okay.
Then it just falls off like a cliff.
So they have a top 3 and a bottom 9?
They got Denis Gurinov, Thomas Novak, and Luke Evans-Stalia.
That's the second line?
Yeah, terrible. That's terrible for a second line.
You know what's going to keep them in games, though? The duo of UC Saros, Roman Yossi will keep them in games.
Yeah, how much can
It's going to be like an Islander situation right there. Just not as severe.
Is that where you want to be as a franchise?
I'm not saying it's where you want to be as a franchise, but it's a reason they could not finish bottom 6 in the league.
I mean, we're just bragging about 70 points. We're bragging about 79 points.
I'm aware.
Like, what are we doing here?
Oh, man.
What are we doing here? Then they go out and give Luke Shen term, which is just nuts to me. Just absolute nuts. They go out and get Tyson Barrie. Like, what? I don't understand. I don't understand. What are you doing?
I don't understand.
And Ryan O'Reilly on Twitter was getting heat the other day for that, especially from the Toronto media, because he came out and he was like the money of the term was not an issue from Toronto. I just wanted to play elsewhere. Like, he just didn't want to deal with the Toronto media, right? And I don't blame him, right? Like, he's won his cup. Like, he was the number 1 center on a championship team. He was the captain of that team with St. Louis. Like, he did what he had to do. Like, he got traded to Toronto. He played in the playoff with that. Like, he played in the playoff series, helped them break the first round curse,
and then get destroyed.
Cool. Like, I would say he did what he had to do. He's gonna go live in one of the most beautiful cities in America, Nashville. He's gonna make his money. He's gonna be able to chill. Like, he's not gonna have to work like in summers. Like in the spring and summer. He can do. He can go out. I would say he can go out on the Nashville Strip. He can go to country bars. He can have fun. He doesn't have to worry about playing game number 100 of the season. Like, he doesn't have to worry about it anymore. He can chill. He can have his fun. Like, good for him.
Watch them go crazy now and make the playoffs.
Dude, I'll think of something that, like, I was gonna say if they make the playoffs, I'll what? Like, but I'll think of something and I'll come back.
Whenever we're on Ant and Maz, in the midday, of course, Charlie always says, "Maz, if you're correct, I'll eat your shoe." So whose shoe would you eat if the Predators make the playoffs from the Breaking the Ice cast?
None. I don't like none.
Tanner's shoe.
None. You couldn't pay me. I don't like feet.
But okay, what if the Panthers win? Not the Panthers. What if the Penguins won a Stanley Cup? Would you eat a shoe?
No.
He would not for a Penguin Stanley Cup.
No, I've seen 3 of them.
What about for a Sixers NBA championship?
No, they're just an embarrassment.
A Phillies World Series ring.
I've seen one.
There's nothing you do to eat a shoe?
No.
There's got to be one thing that you would eat a shoe for.
No. I would say maybe if I win the Powerball tonight, maybe I would.
Would you eat a shoe for that?
Absolutely.
All right, there we go. Okay.
That I'd eat a shoe for.
Back to the NHL.
Because now you're talking about lifelong wealth.
Back to the NHL. Where'd the Hurricanes get all this money from, first off? Dmitry Orlov, 2-year, $15.5 million contract.
The Hurricanes are 2 things. One, they probably have the smartest front office in all of hockey. 2, they know how to manipulate the cap beautifully. 2, they're all in.
3, they're all in, you mean? You said 2 twice.
Did I?
Yeah.
Ah.
You said
Well-
2 twice.
well-
Instagram, hello. Okay.
Well, they're all in. They're all in.
They're all in. Jesper Fast, 2-year deal for them as well. Are they winning the division again this year?
Yeah.
But are they? How far are they going in the playoffs? Every year they've gotten better and better. 3 years ago, you saw them losing the second round pretty badly.
Mm-hmm.
2 years ago, you saw them choke in the second round, but they were leading the series. Last year, you saw the Panthers sweep them in the conference finals. They're getting better and better and better. Where will they end up now?
I think you're gonna see them. I think you're gonna see them in the East Finals.
East Finals. Okay. I honestly,
I think
they're trending upwards every year.
I think you're gonna see them in the East Finals. What do they go to the Cup? I don't know. It depends on how the
Depends
season
on
goes.
if Florida is on the other side of the ice.
Oof.
Oh man.
But it depends on how they're playing. It depends on who they're facing. A lot of variables. Like it's hard on July 19th on a Wednesday
Oh
at
yeah,
2:30.
July 19th, Wednesday, 2:30
At 2:30
p.m.
to predict
tell
who's gonna go
who's
to
gonna
the
be the
fa-
Stanley Cup
yeah.
final a year from now.
Yeah, it's gonna be. It's. I'm not gonna be up here trying to get clipped.
Before the regular season starts, though, we all have to have final Stanley Cup final predictions.
Okay.
And just at the end of the season, we just see how wrong we are or how right we were. I did that with Maz last year.
I'll pull a
before-
Giraffe Neck Mark and say the Penguins are going to win the Stanley Cup.
Before the 2022 Major League Baseball season, Maz and I gave our takes, right?
How'd that go?
I rocked Blue Jays Dodgers World Series.
Oof.
Blue Jays was dead wrong, but both my teams made the playoffs though.
They did.
Blue Jays got swept by the Mariners. In
Yeah,
the
they also
first
had a
round.
manager fired. Like it was dumpster for the Blue Jays.
And I also recall the Dodgers going to the NLDS because they won the NL, but they lost to the Padres.
Yeah.
So I wasn't close. But he
Oh God, let me tell
had
what's
Dodgers, Red Sox. The Red Sox were last in the AL East.
Yeah, they were not.
They
good last
didn't
year.
even come close.
Yeah, they were not good last year.
So don't get me wrong. I might have been wrong, but I was not the wrongest.
All right, if you had to predict on July 19th at 2:32 p.m. Eastern Standard Time,
Who's in the Stanley Cup final next year?
give it to me.
I'm going West first. I'm
That's smart, man.
going West first. And tell me why I feel like it's going to be a Colorado Avalanche bounce back season.
All right. And who you got in the East?
Florida Panthers.
Of course, I could have predicted that one.
Oh, dude, because I don't know what to think anymore. The East has me so. I said the Cats wouldn't even make the playoffs last year, and they were in the Stanley Cup final. I don't know what to believe anymore. I don't know what to think. I don't know how hockey works anymore. It's not the Leafs, I can tell you that. Okay.
You ready for this?
Yes.
All right. In the West, I have the Dallas Stars.
I was going to maybe say them too, but I don't know. Maybe there were 2 games away. They could totally do it.
And you know exactly who I'm going to say in the
The
East.
Pittsburgh Penguins, baby.
Nope.
The New Jersey Devils.
Yep. Yep.
I hope everybody's listening.
And the New
I hope they
Jersey
all
Devils.
hear the fact that let's take the group chat right now. Who's listening? Let's see.
You know what? I hope you know the entire season with this NHL season. I'm gonna keep saying the Devils are gonna win the Stanley Cup. You all know why?
Why is that?
Huh?
Why is that, huh?
What I would say? What did I do when I picked? What did I do the Devils
You
Rangers? series?
jinxed them.
What did I do the Devils Rangers series when I picked the Rangers? What happened?
They lost.
And then what happened when I picked the Devils against the Hurricanes?
They got lost in 5, right? They didn't get swept. They lost in 5.
Yep. So whenever I say the Devils are gonna win, they don't.
Dude,
So that's what I'm gonna keep doing.
The Devils season-ending celebration on the account was great. The Instagram Devils season celebration was
Dude, I'll make a
phenomenal.
part 2 next year,
Oh,
and then I'll
every
make
year?
I'll make a part 3 and a part 4.
Every year, just he's gonna be 35. Guys, the Devils just lost. Let's take it back one more time.
I would say when no one's looking at the Instagram, I would say Instagram's probably not even a thing when we're 35.
I feel like it'll be there. I feel like social media has plateaued. Genuinely,
Yeah, it'll probably be there.
I think social media has plateaued. When was the last time a new service came out that has taken the social media world by storm? It's been like 5 or 6 years.
Shoot,
with TikTok.
Threads is up and coming.
But is it actually upcoming? It was cool for the first couple days, and then everybody stops.
And then everyone just went right back to Twitter.
Everyone went right back to Twitter like in 2 minutes, bro. It worked. It was cool. It's a good idea. It's a great idea.
It's just terrible.
But they're trying to be somebody else. That's what you don't understand. No application can ever be better at the original. It's never going to happen.
I mean, TikTok tried to be Vine.
They didn't try to be Vine. They're
It just
different than Vine because TikTok is longer videos than Vine. So that's why it's different. Vine is too short. So it's a little different. And TikTok is doing a great job. But Instagram Reels tries to be TikTok. Snapchat Reels, YouTube Shorts, they all try. It doesn't work as well.
We're talking about social media here. Shout out Professor Lou.
Exactly.
Shout out Professor Choi. Taught us well.
Threads. Great idea.
We got to bring them on and get their idea of Threads. We got to get their takes of Threads. How are the analytics of Threads?
Oh yeah, social media. Let's get on Keyhole real quick and start putting everything in. Let's put it all in the Threads. Does Threads have its own Threads account? Just like how Facebook has a Facebook, Instagram has an Instagram.
I'm gonna look that up.
Does Threads have a Threads? Let's check right now.
Hold on, I'll go on Twitter really quick. I'll let you know. Threads.
I'm going on Threads right now, and I'm gonna see if Threads has its own Threads. Threads has its own Threads.
It does have its own
app,
Threads.
powered by Instagram. It's so funny. It's so funny when apps have their own. Does YouTube have its own YouTube? I don't know about that. Wait, no, it does. It does.
Yeah, it does.
YouTube has its own YouTube. I'm checking right now. YouTube.
It absolutely does.
It's so funny, man. It's so funny.
Dude, there's no way YouTube doesn't have its own YouTube.
I can't find one. Tell me why I search up YouTube. You know what shows up first?
What?
NBC News. What? Why is that the first channel that pops up?
I mean, then again, news is like a big thing. Like NBC News, like NBC, CNN, Fox,
Wait,
all those.
Does
like
YouTube not have its own?
It's one like those are like the biggest news channels. They probably have a lot of subscribers.
YouTube does have its own YouTube because
we go.
Because I know the YouTube Rewind videos exist, right?
Yep.
So I had to click on one real quick, and let's go to YouTube's. YouTube has 36.4 million subscribers on YouTube. It's so funny. The bio: YouTube's official YouTube channel helps you discover what new and trending. I love that, man. I love that. We are a hockey show talking about social media for the past 4 minutes now.
We are.
Because
do you really text the group chat AJ back to his theatrics?
Yes, I did. Okay.
Damn, I thought we were supposed to be on the same team here.
No. Listen, I'm gonna say AJ says Devs winning the cup.
Devils are winning the Stanley Cup. Just put it on the Instagram.
Who wants to talk about it? Let's see what Campbell says right now. Campbell's at work right now, guys. We're distracting him while he's supposed to be, because it is. Why are there games right now?
Are there?
Like the Cardinals are playing them. Oh my God! I don't care if we're a hockey show. The Marlins are losing 4-0 in the first inning. Sandy Alcantara, what has happened?
Good for them.
He gave up a single to Arenado, and then I believe what's Gorman's first?
Sandy is terrible this year.
This year, yeah. Nolan Gorman hits a 3-run home run. Okay, Justin Brady. AJ's just trying to jinx it again.
Absolutely.
He says STFU.
1,000. I'm going to be so open about that. 1,000% I'm trying to jinx the Devils. Why? Because that's what I do best. Listen, I have lost bets. I have gone to the Rock. I have wore Devils jerseys on the show and at the Rock. I have played skee ball in front of 15,000 Devils fans.
Greatest thing ever. The fact that you guys got asked that on the same, great that you guys.
I was saying, and we didn't make a shot. It was terrible. Then I picked the Rangers and got laughed at by Daniel, Justin, and them, and Campbell and all them because my prediction was terrible.
Listen,
and it was wrong.
I'll be 100% honest, real quick. Listen,
I had to do what I had to do.
You're getting them so good. Read the chat. You're getting them so good because look at this. There's Justin.
Dude, they're going crazy.
Dude, you're doing your job. You're trying to troll them, and they're literally walking right into it.
Mateo, I've never seen a non-Devils fan obsessed this much about the Devils. 1,000%.
You guys are giving in to the trolling. You guys, come on now.
You know what they teach?
Fire
you know what parents teach little kids?
What do they teach them?
You know what they teach them when someone's trying to make fun of them, get a reaction of them. You tell them ignore them. You all know why? Because when you ignore them, you're not giving them what they want.
And it's exactly what these two are doing
You're not giving them what they want, so they stop. if as long as they keep doing this, as long as they keep falling for it and going after Justin Brady rent free.
Yeah, Justin Brady rent free.
As long as they keep doing this, I'm gonna keep doing it. And you know what? If they ignore me, guess what? I'm gonna keep doing. I'm gonna keep doing this
Because it's working. It's working.
bro. It is working beautifully. Why would I stop? If you ever hear this phrase, if it ain't broke, don't fix
Don't
it.
fix it. It's definitely not broke.
So I'm not. Why would I fix it?
It's certainly
Why
ain't
would
broke.
Why would I fix it?
Because Devils Fanatics told you to fix it. That's why.
Why would I care about what the Devil Fanatics has
Devils
to
Fanatics says, fix it now.
say? No. Why would I ever do that?
Oh, my God.
Why
Tom
would I-
Brady's son, baby. Tom Brady's son.
Tom Brady's son.
Anyway, moving on. Here's another solid signing for you to talk about. Anaheim Ducks.
Okay.
Alex Killorn. 4 years, $25 million.
That is a gross contract.
The 33-year-old joins the Ducks after being a staple for the Lightning over the past decade. They won 2 times, reached the Cup final 4 times as he was there, and he's coming off back-to-back career highs in points, 64 points on 27 goals and 34 assists last year. 3 seasons of 20 or more goals in his last 4, and has been honestly very durable because he's played 81 games 7 times. He and Radko Gudas are
Let's
the
just
2
loop them-
notable additions.
Yeah,
by
let's
Anaheim.
just put them together real quick. Gouda signed a 3-year deal.
With $4 million a year, so it's a
yeah.
3-year, $12 million contract.
Yep, and then
4-year,
Killorn-
$25 million.
Yep. So I just want to ask you a question. How far do you think the Ducks are from being just competing for a playoff spot?
Well, with Fantilli, let's see how he develops, but there's not this season, no.
Not
But
this-
it could totally be on the last couple years of these guys' contracts.
So you're saying within like 2 years.
It's totally possible, yeah.
2
totally
years,
possible.
right?
Totally possible. Trevor Zegras getting better, yeah.
So you're going to have like a 35-year-old Gudis, right, making 4 AAV, and you're going to have like a 35-year-old Killorn making 6.5 AAV on a team that's trying to compete for a playoff spot, right?
Yes.
Now you tell me how that's going to work out.
Well,
you tell me how much that I know the cap's going up, but you tell me how much that combined $11 million cap hit's going to hurt.
well,
with
Gudas wasn't even like a.
Ducks.
It's not even like Gudas is like a first-line defenseman either.
Bro, it's going to hurt the Ducks. It is. It's not the fact that they got 6.5 AAV and 4 AAV, right?
It's just the fact that it's
It's
that
the
part.
it's the term that's the issue, right? You for a team that's not competing, you cannot give guys high AAV in term. You can't do it. It's one or the other. It's one or the other. And I call the Pierre Engvall contract for the Islanders, I call it gross, right? That contract's bad. Giving them 7 years is terrible. At least it's $2 million a year, right?
Yes.
Like that $2 million is not bad. You could buy out that contract in like year 3, year 4, and it's not really going to hurt you that much, right? If you really are trying to save like $1 million, right?
Fair.
It's not going to hurt you that much. You buy out Alex Killorn year 3 of that contract,
What is that, like 12, $13 million right there?
yeah, that's going to get spread on your cap for years. You're gonna turn into like a Minnesota. It's not
Don't
gonna be
even
obviously
start about Minnesota,
not
bro.
even. It's not gonna be as bad as what Minnesota's going through, but it's gonna be something like that, right? And
Yes.
do you want to have a cap situation like the Minnesota Wild do?
No.
No, heck no. You don't want to have a contract with a cap situation like that. So it's just these teams that give out bad contracts. It just annoys me. I'm not calling Gudis and Killorn bad players.
No,
I'm saying
Gudas is good, but
I'm saying the contracts just don't make sense. They don't make sense.
I hear
It's
what
not
you're
what
saying.
competent organizations do.
Now, the last flash signing, or another flash signing here, everyone was like, where is Tyler Bertuzzi going this offseason? You know what I mean? Left and right, no one knows, and eventually, boom, the second day of July, the Toronto Maple Leafs signed him on a 1-year, $5.5 million contract. Thoughts on such a deal?
I will say that again. I called Campbell in the group chat a Bruins fan.
Because he is, man.
He
He's
is
got 2 teams.
You cannot have 2 teams. I'm
Can't have
sorry.
2
I'm
teams.
sorry you can't have 2 teams. It's
cannot.
one or the other. It's either Bruins or Devils. You got to pick one, Campbell. I'm sorry. I love you. Sorry. What contract were you talking about?
Okay,
I'm
Tyler
op-
Bertuzzi, 1 year, $5.5 million.
Just prove it deal, bet on yourself. Obviously, the market isn't what he wanted. Don't mind that he's going to a contender. He's got to play either on a Tavares line or he's going to play with he's either going to play with Tavares and Nylander or he's going to play with Matthews and Martyr. Either way, it's probably the best situation on a 1 year prove it deal you can be in. Good for him. Really simple.
So, I'm just gonna go through now. I want to give you some Pens talk here. Riley Smith trade. Did you get a chance to talk about it on the show yet?
Yeah, I've talked about it.
During the draft?
I've talked about everything at the Pens free agency. They really haven't done anything.
Well,
really
they got
since the
Ty
draft.
Smith on a 1 year deal.
I mean, we'll see what happens. I mean, Ty Smith, I think, is one of the organization's 6 best defensemen.
Okay.
It's just the cap that he literally couldn't play last year because Hextall screwed up the cap so much. Like he literally could not play on the roster because of cap space.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah.
He'll have a chance to make the roster in camp. Will he do it? We'll see. But I liked what I saw last year at the
I
NHL
love how they
level.
also signed a guy named John Gruden to a 1 year deal.
Ugh, John Gruden. Neither here nor there.
Other John Gruden, second John Gruden.
Second John Gruden.
1 year, 2-way deal.
Yeah,
How do you say this guy? The rookie, Emil Pieniemi.
Oh, Puustinen. Oh, what's that? I would say Pieniemi. Oh, yeah.
Pieniemi, I think.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, I would say they've really just worked on signing their drafts and just signing like some depth guys on two-way contracts. But the biggest thing they have to worry about now is the 3 biggest things they're gonna have to worry about now is obviously getting the Drew O'Connor arbitration thing. They got to figure that out. The Erik Karlsson trade, whether that's going to happen or not, it's rumored. It's between the Hurricanes and Penguins. Elliot Friedman just said today that the Penguins are in the lead for that. What I think's happening with those negotiations is the Sharks and Penguins and Hurricanes are all playing a 3-way game of chicken.
Okay.
Because it was rumored that the Penguins and the Sharks were close to a deal prior to the draft. Obviously, they couldn't make it work. The Sharks know that Karlsson has 4 more years left on his contract. They don't want to eat that much of the deal because if you build your team right, in 4 years, you're probably going to be competing. So they don't want to do it. They don't want to voluntarily do what the Ducks just did and put put excess cap on your roster. That's going to hurt you. They don't want to do that. And the Sharks know that they're going to have to eat a little bit of it. And if they don't, they're going to have to take on bad contracts like either Mikhail Granlund or Jeff Petrie. So what's happening is just good old game of chicken. We'll see who blinks first and
Who blinks first, boys?
where Karlsson goes. But eventually, I do believe he'll be a Penguin. It's not if, it's a matter of when. It's a matter of when.
Ooh.
It's a matter of when. He'll either be a Penguin or be a Hurricane. He will not open up next year in a Sharks uniform. Won't happen.
Now we're gonna move on to a little bit of the recent week's signing. Get you updated on some news that actually has not been talked about yet. Ross Colton, 4-year, $16 million contract with the Colorado Avalanche. Thoughts on that one?
Paid a hefty price to get him in the trade. They obviously view him as a young Anchorage part of what they're trying to do. Obviously, by the contract, it proves that. I like Ross Colton as a player. We'll see if he can take the extra jump. Colorado's betting on him. We'll see if he delivers.
He can totally deliver. Ross Colton, restricted free agent, gets a solid bag here. So we're going to move around the horn here, find some more deals. Arizona Coyotes even, this was an older one, but Jason Zucker. You happy he got the bag there?
I'm happy for him. And obviously, after the Penguins traded for Riley Smith, the door was kind of closed on Jason Zucker, returning to Pittsburgh. It wasn't really going to happen. So I'm happy that he's got his bag. He got his $5 million. He's going to be able to go chill, live in Arizona, which is a beautiful place to live.
Playing at Pike.
He will be playing at Pike. He's not gonna get taxed a lot on that money. He'll chill. He'll be able to make his money if he plays well. He'll probably get moved at the deadline. He'll play on a contender, and good for him.
So along with him, Matias Maccelli, 3-year, $3.425 AAV with the Arizona Coyotes. So they're making signings. They're doing things. They had a rough draft, but
They're getting to the cap floor.
they're getting there. They're getting there. No doubt about that. And here's a signing I love. 4 days ago, this was the trade we said was the worst trade of last year's deadline. Tanner Jeannot trade.
Oh, you've been all over this trade.
And now he re-signs with the Lightning on a 2-year, $5.3 million deal.
I look at this Lightning roster and I really don't like a lot of it. What I see.
Is it finally over?
No.
It's not. It can never be. Yeah.
No, I don't think it's over. Your top line still grows with Point, Stamkos, and Kucherov. Those are three like easily 100-point guys.
One is literally an MVP. Yeah.
Yeah, one's an MVP. One with a Braden Point, elite two-way center, put up 100 points in his sleep. Stamkos, saw him, he was a little bit slower last year, but still has an elite shot. He's still a point per game winger. Put up 100 points with one shot. Maybe put up 100 next year. Then you got your second line of Brendan Hagel, Cirelli, and Connor Sheary. Drops off a little bit. I'm gonna say, and then just the bottom six I don't like. Like Nick Paul, not a fan. Tanner Jeannot, I think it's terrible. I just think that whole trade contract's terrible.
Oh man.
Michael Eskiamont, don't think he's that great. Cole Kopke, Luke Glendening, and Josh Archibald, fourth line. Let's say there's a lot to be desired there. Victor Hedman,
That's still the GOAT, but yeah.
Still the GOAT. Dealt with a little bit of injury bug last year. He's getting up in age. You hope that he can stay healthy. Mikhail Sergachev, I like him a lot. I looked at that. Him I like a lot, but everything else on this decor I really don't like. And just Andrei Vasilevsky. He's gonna have to with the Lightning if they're gonna win the Atlantic. He's gonna have to play 70 games.
And he can totally do such a thing. He can do that.
He's gonna have to play 70 games.
That's a nasty goaltender right there.
And what's gonna happen if he plays 70 games? He's gonna be burnt out by the playoffs.
True.
So like, I don't like a lot. Which is why in my takes of last week I thought the Lightning meant to at best finish wild card 1. And it's for those reasons.
I'm down for that. I'm so down for that.
It's for those reasons.
So, moving away from there, one player retired that I want to get your overall thoughts on his career, Patrick Hornqvist. After suffering a concussion this past season, he called it quits. His career is done. Patrick Hornqvist is now retired. And, a 2-time Stanley Cup champion with the Penguins. Spent most of his career with the Penguins. What did he mean to you as a Penguins fan in that franchise?
You talk about the ultimate grinder. You talk about the player. The first word I think of Patrick Hornqvist, but I think of him as a player, selfless. He'll put his body on the line. He'll play the 200-foot game. He'll do everything that he needs to win. He's a voice. He's a presence in the locker room. He's someone who he will not be denied. He's a player that he wants to win at all costs, and he'll do everything he needs to do that. Patrick Hornqvist, he was an intricate part of those two cup teams in Pittsburgh. If he's not there, the Penguins don't win 16 and 17. Doesn't happen. I'm sorry. He's a valuable player. He's had a great career. I'm sad to know that I'm not gonna be able to watch Hornqvist in the league, but good for him. Good for him that he retired. Head injuries are
not fun, man. Not fun.
Those are things you don't play with, and I would say he's done all that he's done all that like you needed. He's done everything that he possibly could have in the NHL.
So now moving away from one that just got re-signed. Anze Kopitar, 2-year, $14 million extension with the LA Kings.
Mm-hmm.
The bag, but he's not slowing down either. So it's not even. He's a 2-time Stanley Cup champion. 1 time, 2 time, 1 time, 2 time,
2 time.
That's. I mean, he's never going to play anywhere else.
No, I would say Anze Kopitar. He's a player that 5-6 years from now, number 11 is going to be in the rafters.
Oh, no doubt about that. Will 32 be in those rafters?
Yeah.
Hey, okay.
Yeah, I think he'll be in the rafters. He's a player that it's funny a few years ago. Remember when the Kings, they sort of went into that little retool because they were trying to move away from that old core, like guys like Kopitar and Drew Doughty. Like they thought like it was finally going to be like the time where those guys sort of declined and they tried to get younger.
And it didn't work.
And it was crazy because like they were retooling for a few years, and then like Kopitar and Doughty were still good. Like they were still good. So they're like, you know what? Like, instead of trying to rebuild away from these guys, let's lean into them again. And now the Kings are, my opinion, if I had to pick today, I think the Kings are going to win the Pacific.
Ooh.
That's a take for you.
Sorry, Vegas. Sorry, Edmonton. Not your division.
I think the Kings have. I think the Kings could win. They could win the Pacific. Whether they can, whether their goaltending is going to be able to hold up, that remains to be seen. But I think they have enough talent to where they could sort of mask that in the regular season. Obviously, Edmonton, any given year, they can win a President's Trophy. Team's gross, but I think it's the Kings here in that division.
The Kings year in the Pacific. Now, moving down a little more. 1-year contract here. Max Domi. $3 million Toronto Maple Leafs. Another 1-year deal for a solid star. Toronto this year has a lot of 1 year, a lot of. Is this like? It's the last year of Austin Matthews, correct? Like last guaranteed year.
Yeah, last guaranteed year before he becomes a UFA next year. Toronto, they're trying to do everything they can to re-sign him. The last report that I've personally read on the contract negotiations is that any extension Toronto it kind of looks like a shorter term deal, whether it be a 2-3 year extension, high AAV, and then him hit the market. What's it called after that? Does he sign it? I don't know. Toronto, they're trying to put these guys like Bertuzzi, Domi around them. This kind of feels like the last dance, a little bit with this core. It kind of feels like they're leading into, because they didn't trade any of the 5. They didn't trade Matthews, Marner, Tavares, Nylander, or Morgan Riley. It kind of feels like this is the year where
Another one this time was John Klingberg, 1 year, $4 million.
Jonathan Klingberg, he's not good. I think he's personally trash, but he's neither here nor there. I think he's just all name. But it kind of feels like this is it. It's either they're gonna go deep in the playoffs and they're gonna go to a cup, or they're just gonna blow it up after this. And I don't hate them for signing guys like Domi, Bertuzzi, because it's gonna help. I think they're gonna go nuclear at the deadline.
That's probably true. They could go nuclear at the deadline. I want to do a little bit of Florida Panthers talk. I want to see your thoughts on these moves. Dmitry Kulikov, 1 year, $1 million.
I mean, for $1 million, I can care less who you sign.
Nico Mikkola.
I don't think Dmitry Kulikov's good, but
I hear you.
Nico Mikkola, I like. I thought he played well in the playoffs for the Rangers. Thought he could be. I think he's gonna be nice on their third pair.
3 years. He might be a second pair. I don't know. 3 years,
Maybe.
$7.5 million. What'd you say?
Maybe.
Because the reason I say that, Florida's defense, first line is going to be Forsling, Ekblad. Second line will have Montour on it. And Pierre, Paul Maurice loves to rock with lefty defenseman on the left side and righty defenseman on the right side.
As like every NHL team does.
As like every NHL team. It has to happen, right? It has to. And that's what Nico Mikkola is, a lefty. So just for that reason, I feel like he's going to be second line defenseman. And Oliver Ekman-Larsson also lefty? Question mark?
Yeah, I think Ek plays on the second pair. Mikkola plays on the third.
Third pair? Okay, that's Ekman's only on a 1 year deal. But Anthony Duclair got traded.
What's gonna happen? What's gonna be an interesting? What's gonna be an interesting thing is what's gonna happen to Gustav Forsling.
He will be starting.
I would say yeah, he's gonna start out the season, but once that pair of Ekblad and Montour comes back, like what's gonna happen with him?
Well, Montour plays second line.
Yeah.
So what are you talking about exactly?
It's gonna be interesting it's gonna be interesting about of who he pairs up with and how he fits into the system. But Paul Maurice, great coach, he'll figure that out. Gustav Forsling's great.
Evan Rodriguez, though, the big signing they've made the whole offseason, 4 years, $12 million deals. Defensively, love it.
I'm for it.
I'm for it too, man. We just lost Duclair.
You know what's crazy?
What's crazy?
I think he can play. I think Evan Rodriguez can play on your top line.
On the top line.
I think he's gonna play.
You're correct. You know that you are.
I think he's gonna play with Barkov and Reinhart.
Reinhart doesn't play top line.
I think
Reinhart plays third line.
I think he will play top line.
Reinhart playing top line this year?
Yeah.
No, but you know why? Because Carter. Wait, is Rodriguez a lefty or a righty?
Lefty.
He's a lefty. That's the problem with the Cats. The whole team is lefties. Bro.
I would say Verhaeghe's gonna play with Sam Bennett and Kachuk.
Okay, here's what I'm trying to say. Verhaeghe's played top line with Barkov for the last 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Do they go and do that now and mess that up? The third line past 2 years has been Lundell and Reinhart, and they rocked with Lois Thurin this year. The second line was Kachuk, Sam Bennett, and I believe Duclair. Not Duclair.
Yeah, I'm looking on Daily Faceoff right now at all your line pairs and what they had Ed Rodriguez listed on your top line.
Possible.
Which I actually that's what I'm saying I agree with. I think he can play. I think with Barkov and Reinhart, you kind of need that two-way there.
Yeah.
You kind of need that two-way forward there with like that selfless player, the one that your grinder and everything can help out Barkov a little bit, make his job a little bit easier in the D zone. Reinhart, they can focus on goal scoring. That's ultimately why I thought he was brought in. So,
yeah,
I like the deal.
I love the contract, man. You guys have been listening to Breaking the Ice here on 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. Phenomenal 1 hour episode. It was the greatest decision I think we've made all week long to go back to 1 hour.
Yeah, it was
Cover
great.
all the free agency. Maybe might be back next week. Not sure yet, but I'll let all of you know. So have a great day, everyone. You've been listening to Breaking the Ice here on 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. AJ, thanks for coming along.
Thanks for having me.
And we will see everybody possibly next week. Have a great rest of your day. Boom!
You are listening to 90.3